City update time! This week's been a little hectic. I mean, did you guys see the live stream? But I think I've still managed to do quite a bit in the city. Some good, some not so good. So first things first, I had quite a few comments asking me about the park area, and in particular the building choices kind of wrapping around that kind of new kind of one-way system road bit. Now none of these buildings are in fixed positions, and I still have quite a few modulars to build over the next couple of months, and I'm sure some of those probably will be better suited to certain ones in certain areas. I mean, I still need Parisian Restaurant and Brick Bank and Grand Emporium. There's so many decent modular buildings, and I'm sure some of those will be better suited to certain areas. Also, with the success of the rather tedious remoc build I did last week, I definitely want to start doing more of those in the city as well, as long as I can get the sets for kind of a reasonable price. So basically no retired sets. I mean, it's Lego. Anyways, the question I got asked quite a bit in last week's city update was whether I could change Assembly Square for the awesome new Town Hall build that we did on a live stream the other week, and obviously it's the biggest modular they've ever made. Well, tallest anyways, and it would look really cool where Assembly Square is. So originally I brushed off these ideas because I have height issues in the corner of the room because obviously the slanted roof, and I'm not lowering the tables again, guys. But I did do a quick measurement, and the Town Hall could technically fit there, so I thought I'd swap it out so you guys can see which one looks better. So here's what it looks like. Okay, so I've just pulled Assembly Square out and it got a little bit damaged on the process, but here is what the Town Hall would look like if it's there. So let me take a step back just to show you. It does look pretty sweet. I'm actually surprised it actually manages to fit there, but as you can see, this wooden beam is in the way. So when you're looking at it from over here, it kind of gets a little bit blocked from the actual show. So there we go, that's what it looks like. I'm not too sure on that myself, but then obviously as you come around here, you can see you have to kind of peer all the way down before you can see the top, like that. Now if it was to stay here, I'd have to put a half modular build to the left to fill in that gap, because obviously Assembly Square's a base plate and a half and Town Hall's only one. But I do agree it does look pretty slick and definitely gives me some of that Back to the Future kind of vibes. And yes, I do love Back to the Future. It's your kids, Marty! Marty, it's your kids! People at uni used to say that I looked like Marty McFly. I didn't get it. Maybe the ginger version and the third one. So anyways, let me know in the comments down below if you think it should stay here or not. Now, personally, I'm still not too sure, as the wooden beam just gets in the way, and I think where I was gonna put it down by the train station just looks a little nicer in my opinion. Right, anyways, let's get back to that garage mock that I ripped out of the city last week, you know? The one I kinda hate. Well, I had an idea of adding the pizza shop to the side of it, as it's just such a cool looking building. It's definitely the best building we've had in the January wave of LEGO City sets, even if that set cost an arm and a leg, and it's definitely because of those road plates. Now, I did mention this in last week's video, but I needed to remoc the mock. Is that right? As the buildings when added together were just too big by 2 studs. Now, I initially thought about reducing the actual size of the pizza shop by 2 studs, but I just think the building would look way too thin. It's already kind of thin as it is, and I wanted it to look a bit more substantial in the city. I mean, city buildings as it is are very small compared to modulars. And I mean, it's currently going to be the only place where people can buy pizza at the moment. Where's Michelangelo going to get his supply from?
Now to take a test drive!
So anyways, I got to work on dismantling the garage, trying to be careful, but just realizing how flimsy I'd made it. Basically, it just fell apart into a big heap on the build table. So I had to rebuild it again from scratch, but obviously 2 studs thinner. Now, the door kind of section is a bit of a faff for this building, as I only have 2 of those rail pieces that came with the set, and I don't think LEGO make them any smaller. Maybe they do, I just don't know. But anyway, I thought I'd kind of start and do like a rough draft, and actually initially I thought I'd absolutely nailed it. I had a lot of pieces left over though, but I thought, it's me. And also I thought, well, you know, the extra 2 pieces, that's absolutely fine. Maybe it's the extra 2 studs that kind of made up that height. Well, when I put it back in the city, I realized that I hadn't shrunk the entire building by 4 bricks pretty much. Okay, so I just spent absolutely ages on a live stream remocking this so it fits, and look, it looks really lovely with the pizza restaurant there and the tuning garage, but oh wait. What happened to the height? These used to be the same height. I don't know what's gone wrong here, guys, but yeah, to me, it just looks way too small. So it goes, which obviously that's the Texas office, which is a bit smaller, but I wanted it to stay kind of the same height. A little bit annoying. Start it again. I just couldn't leave it like this. I mean, I personally just think it looks way too small, and I prefer the size as it was before because it just perfectly matched the size of the detective's office, and it kind of felt like it was actually becoming a little bit like an actual proper modular. So I ripped it back out of the city, and I started to try and add a little bit more height to the build. Adding the pieces I left out from the previous version definitely helps, but I don't have many dark red pieces like before, but I do have a lot of dark bluish grey ones because, I mean, I'm a LEGO Star Wars collector. I have quite a few of those pieces. Oi! You insulting me? But anyways, I brought it back to its previous height. So once I was happy with that, I pocked it back into the street again and I patted myself on the back for an actual good city job this week, I thought. Okay, so I am super proud of this, but have a look. There we go. Here is the tuning garage next to the detective's office, and they are now back to being a similar height, if not pretty much bang on in height. And just look, tiled it all in. I think it looks absolutely incredible. I'm super, super proud of myself. The only issue that I'm not too much liking is this bit right here, like I was on about. This rail is too long, and I don't know if they do like smaller versions of this. If they do, let me know in the comments down below, because I'll pick up some to make this a little bit smaller and then just clean that edge up. But I think it looks really, really good. Now, you can see the green through because it still doesn't have a back at the moment because I don't have enough pieces, but I'm definitely going to be adding to this once I've kind of got it like this, because we do have a light kit ordered for this set as well to kind of make some custom lighting for it too, and I can put all the skate stuff back in and things for that. Now, there's no stairs to the upstairs of any of these things, but I don't think that really matters too much because most of these are facades anyway and they don't really need staircases. But maybe I'll add like a random staircase to the back or something, or through the actual tuning garage at some point. But I've done the tiling at the front the same as for each building. I've cleaned it all up so it's got the nice kind of path into the actual garage. Very, very cool. And then I've actually added the path back to the set that came with the set in the actual LEGO City, and I think it looks really, really nice. It's obviously I've modified it so that it fits this, but it's got the nice gate that was on it as well, the kind of fencing to the side. And if you can see, what I've done is a little trick just to make it slightly higher. I increased it by a couple of bricks by adding in a stairway to the actual set. So you can see the little chef inside there, but it's got the stuff in, so the pizza oven and stuff as well, and this needs a back on it too. But I've also done some flowers at the front, and by adding that a little bit in, I actually managed to raise the height of this set as well. And then I added the kind of cherry garden back in that he was picking for his actual pizza restaurant, but that kind of adds to the nice height next to the actual police station. So now it doesn't look too small in my opinion. I think it looks really, really nice and just adds that little bit of depth, because this one goes back a little bit like that, and we still have plenty of room for the soap sud sign. And it's just got this really nice look to it. So I think that this street is starting to look insanely cool. Now, to finish off this week's update, I wanted to add a couple of figs and cars to make it start coming to life, because that's what we all want to see, you know, the hustle and bustle of the city. We also had a couple of orders for lightings to do the street as well, but I have to add those slowly in because they are a bit of a mammoth job. And I don't know if you've ever seen me trying to put light kits together, but... So, at the end of this week, this is what the city looks like. I think overall it's a pretty decent job, and I would say a fully successful street now. And talking of streets, I forgot to mention that the corner that I'd figured out, I basically just put a crosswalk each side and then tiled in between, and I think it looks okay. It's a bit ghastly close up, but I think from a distance, and if you squint your eyes, I think it looks okay. But anyways, let me know what you think of that kind of corner bit. I think overall this street is starting to look really, really cool now. And if you have any other ideas for any kind of minifigure scenes and stuff, then let me know, because I love adding in more and more cool, funny kind of scenes and stuff like that. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, then pop us a like. And if you absolutely loved it, then how about subscribe? And as always, have an absolute awesome day.